Hare Krishna ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let us start. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां तृणयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत्तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीमाबीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यामलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नगणस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकां ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्तां विकसितवदनां पद्मवक्त्राय दाक्षीं हेमावां पीतवस्त्रां करकलितलसत् हेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमभयदां भक्तनम्रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुदां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामलिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्दधिरेषणां ससरजावपाशाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीं अरुणमाल्यभूषोज्ज्वलां जपा कुसुमवासुरां जपविदौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिविरावृतां मयूकैः अहमित्येव विभावये महेशी। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। So today we are going to cover 10 names of Sri Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. These 10 names are little heavy. I'll say they are a little heavy because it's not, it needs a little understanding of the abstract. There are quite a lot of abstract references and meanings when we go through these names. So we will go from 256 to 265. Om Vishwarupaye Namaha. Om Jagarinnye Namaha. Om Swapante Namaha. Om Taijasatmikaye Namaha. Om Suptaye Namaha. Om Prajnatmikaye Namaha. Om Turyaye Namaha. Om Sarvavasthavivarjidaye Namaha. Om Srishtikartriye Namaha. Om Brahmarupaye Namaha. So we'll start with the first name of Devi, which is Om Vishwarupayai Namaha. Om Vishwarupayai Namaha. Now, the literal meanings is Vishwarupa, which is the entire universe. The entire universe is her form. Vishwarupayai Namaha. Now, an easy comparison of Vishwarupayai Namaha is straight away from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna shows his Vishwarupa. So there is something called as the Vishwarupa Darshan, where Arjuna is given the Vishwarupa Darshan of Lord Krishna, where Arjuna sees every aspect of the creation inside Lord Krishna. So that was the extent of the all-encompassing nature of Lord Krishna. So that is the easiest example that we can think of. But here in this context, they say that she who has the whole universe in her form, which is the same thing. It is exactly the same thing which is said in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the Devi Bhagavatam, Devi is saying that I am the universe and there is nothing different from me. I am the universe and there is nothing different from me, which basically means that everything is inside her. If you look, you will find everything inside Devi. Now the subsequent all the names that are coming up refer to the various states of the jiva. Jiva is the life sustaining force, or you can also say the physical human body that goes through different phases, 4 states, and these states are the state of Jagrat, the state of waking. When somebody is awake, it is called as the Jagrat state. The second state is the dream state. In the dream state, which is called as the Swapna state. The third state is a deep sleep state, which is called as Sushupti. Sushupti, which is the third state that every jiva goes through. And the fourth stage, which is the highest state, is called as Turiya. Now there is a fifth state also, which we will learn when we talk about Turiya. We will learn about the fifth state also. It is called as Turyatita. Turyatita, which basically goes beyond Turiya, which is the fifth state as well. So we will cover that. But right now, for the ease of understanding, we will talk of the 4 states, which is Jagrit, Swapna, Sushupti and Turiya. These are the 4 states. Now, in the process, when creation happened, the first state that comes, the first state to be, the first quality that comes about is tamas, which is complete darkness. And subsequently, we have other aspects that come up, such as the ahankara, and then panchamahabhutas, which is the 5 great elements, which is air, water, all those are the 5 mahabhutas that come up. And you have the 5 energies of knowledge, which is the jnana shaktis. The 5 jnana shaktis also come up. Then you have the 5 kriya shaktis, the 5 energies of action, which is called as the kriya shakti. Then you have the inner instruments, which manifest in the form of manas. We have covered this before. Manas, buddhi, ahankara and chitta. These also come up, and these are also created, and then the jnanendriyas are also created. When the jnanendriyas are created, we collectively have the prana coming up, which is the vital air, and then you have the organs of action, which is the karmendriyas. Jnanendriya. So the order is first the ahankara, and then the panchamahabhutas, and then jnana shakti and kriya shakti. Then you have the antakarana, which is the 4 forms, the inner instruments, the manas, the buddhi, ahankara and chitta. And then from there you have the jnanendriyas coming in, and then the energies, the prana or the vital air comes, and then you have the karmendriyas coming. This is the way in which the creation actually happens. In the waking state, in the state which is the first state, the Jagrit state. In the Jagrit state, the jiva does its job, the work of action. It works with the organs of knowledge, the organs of action, the antakarana, the pranas, gross body, everything is in action in that particular, in the waking state. And the jiva takes pride, the jiva that takes pride in the gross body is called as Vishwa. So we have to explain all of this to understand what Vishwa means. And who is Devi? Devi is this Vishwa who has the entire universe and from which all these aspects of creation come about into that Jiva, and therefore that Jiva is called as, is also Devi. So this is the way in which the entire cycle of understanding of how creation happens and what Vishwa actually means. Vishwa Rupa. Om Vishwarupayai Namaha. There is a little bit of abstract aspects coming about. So just try and get the gist of it and keep moving on. Jagarini. Om Jagarinyai Namaha. You're coming to the first state, which is the waking state. The state before the waking state is what we just covered, which is the Vishwa, which is the gross body aspect of Devi, which is the Vishwa Rupa. Now we are coming to the Jagarini state or the Jagrit state. She who is in the waking state and she who assumes the form of the Jiva who is in the waking state. That is Devi. This is the name of Devi. She who is in the waking state and assumes the form of Jiva who is in the waking state. In the Jagrit state, when the Jiva is awake and aware, in that state, Devi is part of that Jiva, is that Jiva. She is that Jiva that drives that Jiva. Yeah. So this is the normal state. The Jiva's pride is in its gross body, and this becomes evident in this state. So you've got the waking state which manifests externally to all senses and is the same essence. Now, the Jiva that is there in you is the same as the Jiva that is there in the next person, who is the same as the Jiva is there in every person. So all these Jivas that are there, the Jivatma that is there is also Devi. It's the same, except that the manifestation in each person could be different. Now, depending on your state of awareness or awakening of your Jiva, one person's Jiva's position will probably be higher than that of another person's Jiva. But the essence of the Jiva which is there in one person and the other person, the essence is the same. There is no difference in the Jiva. Now, Devi is in that form is in the form of that Jiva, which is there from person to person and is the same essence in all people. So everybody's got the same Jiva. The only difference in one person's Jiva and the other person's Jiva is that one person's Jiva, maybe the Kundalini has risen a little more. When the Kundalini has risen a little more, then that person is a little more aware. It's gone, in the third person it is gone even more. In the fourth person it is still lying dormant. In the Mooladhara itself, there is no rising in that person's Jiva. But the essence is the same. The essence is the same Kundalini. In some people it is risen, in some people it is at a lower level. So there is no difference. All of it is Devi and she is Jagarini. Whatever the state, she is in that state of awareness inside. She is that state, that wakeful state inside each and every person. Om Swapantyai Namaha. Swapanti. The next name is Swapanti. Swapanti, she who is in the dream state, or she who assumes the form of the Jiva in the dream state. Now, what happens in the state of dream? See, if you remember, if you know what happens medically or physiologically in the dream state, your eyelids are fluttering. When you are dreaming, they say that your eyelids are moving. So, you are not in deep sleep. You are not in deep sleep. You are not awake. The dream state is between deep sleep and the state of alertness or awakeness. Yeah, between Jagrit and deep sleep, which is called as Sushupti. So that is the state of Swapanti, which is the dream state. Yeah. So Devi is the person who is in the dream state or assumes the form of Jiva in the dream state. They say that when a person is in the dream state, the Divine Mother is in a conscious state. Because when the person is dreaming, that person's Jiva is still active. The Jiva is still active. The person is not dead. The Jiva is still active, and that Jiva is Devi. They also say that this Swapanti state is the state of cosmic rest. Cosmic rest is the state between one pralaya and destruction and dissolution of the world happens and before the next creation happens. There is that cosmic rest. At that state of rest, what happens? The entire universe is dissolved and absorbed into Devi. That is this state called as Swapanti. There is another version of this Swapanti which is Swapna Anti. Swapna Anti. Swapna Anti means, or Swapna Anta. Swapna means dream, Anta means end. So that is the state when the dream actually gets over and the person comes into a state of wakeful awareness. Now, the relationship with this is not completely established, but we can talk of Swapanti as the dream state where Devi assumes the form of the Jiva in that particular state. Are you anywhere with me, or it's pretty abstract? It's pretty abstract, but please try and stay with me because that's why I thought I will go faster and do 15 names of Devi today. But then going by the nature of the names today, I thought it's better I stop at 10. Stop at 10, then the tomorrow we'll do 15 names, which is much easier to grasp. Today's 10 names are a little tough. So we did Swapanti. Swapanti is in the state of Swapna or the dream state. The next one is also referring to the dream state, which is Taijas Atmika. Om Taijas Atmikayai Namaha. So she who is the soul of Taijasa. Taijasa, the word Taijasa is drawn from the word Tejas. Tejas. What is Tejas? Tejas is the state where the inner self is lustrous and glorious in the way it presents itself. There, the inner self is in a state of complete shine. That is called as Tejas. So the person is in a state of sleep. The person is in a state of dreaming. That is the subconscious manifestation is the dream. But the physical manifestation of the Jiva within the person is still emanating a lot of Tejas. And that state of emanating Tejas is called as Taijas. And Devi is Taijas Atmika. Yeah. So Devi is basically, this keeps going back to the basic concept that Devi is the inner essence. Devi is the inner essence. All through the entire Lalitha Sahasranamam, the same concept is saying that Devi is Kundalini, Devi is the essence, Devi is the Shakti. Without Devi is the core, Devi is Parashakti. The same concept is being reinforced that without Devi, nothing is going to happen. So even Shiva has no Shakti, has no power without Shakti. Shakti is the core, Shakti is the inner essence of Shiva. Shakti is the inner essence of Shiva. So she who is the soul of Taijas, or Taijasa. So Taijas Atmika, she who is the soul of Taijas or Taijas Atmika. So we have covered two aspects of the dream state, which is Swapanti and Taijas Atmika, which refer to the Swapna state. First one we did the Jagrat state, which is Jagarini, and the second one is Swapanti, and the third one we did was Taijasatmika. 260 Supta. Om Suptayai Namaha. Supta is a state beyond deep sleep, beyond dream state. That is the state known as Sushupti. Sushupti is deep sleep. So if you go to bed and you don't have dreams, chances are that your quality of sleep is actually very good. Very good sleep if you don't have any dreams. That is why they say before going to bed, if you don't want dreams, they say that before going to bed, please picturize yourselves holding the feet of your Ishta Devata, surrendering yourself at the feet of your Ishta Devata. Your Ishta Devata can be anybody on this planet, whoever you want to consider as your Ishta Devata, or it can be even your your Kula Devata. It can be your Kula Devata. So surrender yourselves at the feet of your Kula Devata. Picturize yourselves completely surrendering, falling at the feet of Kula Devata and hugging the feet of your Kula Devata, and then surrender every thought that you have inside your head at the feet of the Kula Devata, and then watch your sleep. And then understand the quality of your sleep. Try it. You will see that the quality of your sleep will be far better. Your problems related to work, your problems related to your relationships, your problems related to your concerns about whether this person said that or that person said that, or this thing happened or that thing happened, or I have a meeting tomorrow. All this doesn't matter. The only thing that will happen is that you will get good rest. Don't forget, your sleep is your recovery time. Your sleep is your recovery time. If you do not get good sleep, next day morning is going to be a disaster. So if you need a good quality of sleep, that state of sleep is called as deep sleep. Non-dream sleep. To get that state, hug the feet of your Ishta Devata. In the state of deep sleep, Supta, Om Suptaye, first we'll look at the literal meaning. She who is in a deep sleep state or assumes the form of the Jiva experiencing deep sleep. Devi, who is in the form of the deep sleep state or assumes the form of the Jiva experiencing deep sleep. What happens during deep sleep? In a deep sleep state, the mind and senses are completely inactive. Your mind is inactive. So there is nothing. The subconscious mind, the subconscious minds are all in a state of inactive, in a state of inaction. In that state, the mind and senses are completely inactive, and the only person within your body, or the only strength or source of energy within your body that is active, is the Divine Mother. Because even in that state of being inactive, your body is alive. Your body is alive. And what keeps that body alive? That is your Jiva. And what is that Jiva? That Jiva is Devi. Devi is in a state of high activity or high alertness inside a body that is going through the deep sleep state or the state of Sushupti. So this deep sleep state is a state where there is no discrimination. When you are completely gone, finished, there is no discrimination. You really don't know what's happening. You can't discriminate. That sixth sense is completely gone. So the experience is one that says, I know nothing. In the deep sleep state, you know nothing. Now there are three forms of avidya. Three forms of avidya. What are those? One is ignorance, second is selfishness, and the love of pleasure or comfort. Ignorance is the condition that I don't know anything. I'm completely unaware. We are talking of what happens in deep sleep state. The second is selfishness. In selfishness, we are talking of I fell asleep. I fell into deep sleep. And the last one, I slept very comfortably, is the state of Maya, which is the last one, which is the love of pleasure or comfort. Nice, comfortable bed, completely gone. That is the state of Maya. Yeah, and I slept comfortably is the action or the emotion associated with the state of what is called as the love of pleasure or comfort. And the body that experiences this deep sleep state is the casual body. The next one, 261, the next name, Prajnatmika, Om Prajnatmikayai Namaha, also refers to the state of Sushupti. The next name, the earlier one was Om Suptayai Namaha, and this one is Prajnatmikayai Namaha. Prajnatmika, the meaning of the name is that she who is not separate from Prajna, consciousness. This is the consciousness that remains switched on during deep sleep. Prajnatmikaya is the jiva who is in a state of deep sleep known as prajna. The next one, 262. We're going to get a little more complex. So we have covered the Jagrit, we have covered the Swapna, we have covered the Sushupti. We're going beyond that. So then you'll be wondering, what is this? What is this state beyond that? So some people turn around and say that if you to reach the state of Sushupti, you should be high on drugs. So that's not what is needed. You can achieve that state even with bhakti. You don't need to get onto those intoxicants to reach these things. That's the worst thing that you can do in your lives. You can completely mess up your lives by going down the wrong way. This is the fourth stage, Turiya. The stage called as Turiya. The next name is Om Turyayai Namaha. She who is in a state of Turiya. What is the state of Turiya? Turiya is the state of pure consciousness. So it is the state beyond deep sleep. It is the state beyond deep sleep. Now, it's not a state which is going to come, okay, you're in an awakened state, and then from an awakened state, you have come to a state of dreams, and then from dreams, you have come. So you're graduating from one state to the next state, to the third state, to the fourth state. No, it's not like that. It's not a state which is going to give you, which you're going to get by means of graduating, going from step to step. No, it's not like that. Turiya is a state which you will be able to achieve only when you become more and more aware. When your awareness levels go up, when you become more and more of a realized soul, that's when you get into the state called as Turiya. She who is in the state of Turiya, that is the name, that's what Turiya means. What does Turiya mean? Turiya is the direct experience of Brahman. Direct experience of the presence of Devi. One good way of explaining that is the state of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, and as a result of that, Ananda, which is bliss. As a result of that, you get into a state of complete bliss. So there is no state where Devi does not exist. There is no state where Devi does not exist. In all the states, she's there in the Jagrat state, she's there in the Swapna state, she's there in the Sushupti state, she's there in the Turiya state as well. So she transcends the state of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Even in the case of, to get to this Turiya state, you need to be aware of the presence of Devi. So this state is a state where Shuddha Vidya is attained, the ultimate realization of Atman. Ultimate realization of Atman, ultimate realization of the presence of Devi, ultimate realization of the rising of your Kundalini. That is where Turiya is achieved. So we have another state. I told you that there is going to be a fifth state as well. It is called as the Turyatita state, where you go beyond Turiya. Go beyond Turiya. So if you are in the state of Turiya, the lower states, which is Jagrit, Swapna, Sushupti, these all don't mean anything to you. You are beyond all these things. These don't mean anything to you. Those are all meaningless states. In this, the lower state, all those lower states, the Jiva is present. In the Turiya state, Jiva is only a witness, watching what is happening. There is a state called as Mahakarana. There is a conditioning called as Mahakarana. Mahakarana, where through the Jiva acts through the casual body. In the Turiya state, through the Mahakarana, it becomes a body called as the greater casual body. The greater casual body. Yeah. Now, this Turiya state, if you look at what science, if you look at what the modern psychologists and psychiatrists talk about, they talk about states such as the conscious, subconscious, and the unconscious mind, or maybe subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. These are the only things that science knows. But as far as we are concerned, as far as Sanatana Dharma is concerned, as far as the Rishis are concerned, they talked of this state called Turiya, which is even beyond the unconscious, even beyond the subconscious. This is a state which was part of our Shastras well before psychology and psychiatry and all these things came up. Now in Saundarya Lahari, Adi Shankara says, Devi, you are the supreme Brahman, are praised by the knowers of the Vedas as Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, as Lakshmi, the wife of Vishnu, as Parvati, the wife of Shiva, but you are Turiya, the state beyond their reach, beyond the reach of all these devas also, all the gods as well. You are well beyond all this, you are Turiya. As Mahamaya, the seat of powers can be grasped only with the greatest effort. And you whirl the universe around constantly. The universe is in a state of constant churn. And who is churning that universe? The universe is churned due to Shakti. And which is that Shakti that is driving this world around? Devi. Now there is another interpretation that Turiya is the name of a Shakti and Devi is the same as that Shakti. We'll go to the next one, 263, which is Sarvavastha Vivarjita. Sarvavastha Vivarjita. Sarvavastha Vivarjita. This is the last of the names which talks of the abstract nature of the states. The last of the names. This also refers to the state of Turiya. So we spoke of the fifth state. What is the fifth state? It is the state called as Turyatita, going beyond Turiya. So only those people who have reached the state of Turiya they will be able to probably go, only those people will be able to go beyond Turiya into the Turiyatita state. Those people who reach the Turiya state are called as yogins. Those who go beyond that are called as Mahayogins. Mahayogins. So, those people, for them, their constant life is only about worship. The conversation is only about japa. And whatever he speaks or gives is Brahman. The knowledge is Brahman. All the words become mantras because the mind is pure. And we are talking of Mahayogins, people who are in the Turiyatita state beyond Turiya. So all their words are mantras because the mind is pure. If you meet such people, don't dismiss them. Please bring them closer, hold them closer to you, because even when they are not instructing, their conversation itself is an instruction. Just having a conversation with such elevated souls is an instruction. Every movement is a gesture of worship, and even their nonsensical talk is a japa. So when you come across such Mahayogins, please don't be dismissive. Please make sure that you hold them close, you bring them here to your home, you give them all the space that is needed, and treat them as equivalent to God or avatars of God. That is the way you should treat such Mahayogins. So the yogin who constantly abides in his own Atman is a Mahayogin. Who works within his own Atman is a Mahayogin. And that knowledge that he has gained is the knowledge that he gives to his disciples. So Devi is not any different from these yogins or Mahayogins. Devi is Mahayogin, Mahayogini. She transcends all these states, and this state is called as Turiyatita. It is Sarva Avastha Vivarjita. If you split that name, Sarva Avastha Vivarjita, Sarva Avastha Vivarjita. Vivarjita means free from or abandoned of all these states. Sarva, all. Avastha, states. Vivarjita. So she is free from all these states. So whoever is a seeker and tries and gets to the fourth state and goes beyond, becomes equivalent to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, getting to Lord Shiva or getting to that form of Lord Shiva is pure bliss. Pure bliss. To get to that state and experience Lord Shiva is pure bliss. So the concept of beyond Turiya, the concept where we go beyond Turiya is a state, is basically a concept shown only or mentioned only in tantras. It is not mentioned in normal Advaitas and Vedas. It is not mentioned. It is mentioned only in Tantra Shastra, because in Tantra Shastra, in Advaita, everything other than Brahman is false in Advaita. Brahman is the only truth. Everything other than Brahman is false. But in Tantra Shastra, even small aspects are taken into consideration, and while living in the real world, all these aspects add up to create what is a complete experience, and with that complete experience, the person is able to proceed and progress higher. So you're living in the real world and still going and progressing. That is what Tantra Shastra talks about. So partial truths must also be seen in the perspective of that realization. So if you look at the central bindu and the Sri Chakra, the central bindu does not negate other deities. If you look at the Sri Chakra and all the deities that are there in the Sri Chakra, the other deities are not negated. All the other deities are there. All the other deities are also given their pride of place with the mantras and all the chants that are necessary to propitiate these deities. That is what Tantra Shastra says, that you do not turn around and negate any of these. You believe in all of these, while at the same time your objective is directly to approach and attain Devi. Ultimate objective is attaining Devi, the central bindu. With that, we come to the end of this states. We have got two more names which we will be able to quickly run through. The next one, Srishtikartrei Namaha. She who is the creator. Srishtikartrei. Yeah. The creation of the entire universe is what we are referring to in this thing. So all the three Tridevas or the Trimurtis, we are talking of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, are representing the Trigunas, and the Trinity gets the power from whom? Trinity gets the power from Devi. So in Saundarya Lahari, Shankaracharya says, so Devi, Brahma creates the world, Vishnu protects the world, and Rudra destroys the world. Ishvara merges these three into his own body and screens it from you. Taking the order that you give by the slightest movement of your eyebrows, Sadashiva creates them all over again. Remember one of the earlier names of Devi, where Devi just moves her eyebrows, and Shiva listens to Sadashiva. Shiva listens to Devi and starts the process of creation again. So that is what Shankaracharya talks about here, and creation is performed by Ishvara when the gunas of Rajas is ascendant. If you remember, we are talking of Brahma. Brahma has got Rajasic qualities. We have covered that in an earlier name as well. 265. Brahma Rupayai Namaha. She who is in the form of Brahma. She who is assumed for the purpose of creation, the form of Brahma, and Brahma is Rajasic in nature. So Devi is the person who gives orders to Brahma also. So the ultimate implication in this, that Brahma is also an amsham of Devi. Brahma is also a part of Devi. That is what this refers to. From here onwards till 280, it will be a little easy, and then again we'll have to go a little slower to make sure that we do not rush and dilute the names of the beings. I thought we'll do till 270 today, but I think this is pretty heavy for one for one evening in itself. So we'll close now, and we'll reconvene tomorrow for the rest of the names. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Hamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karacharana va kayajam karmajam va shravananayanajam va manasam va paradam vidam avidam va sarvameda kshamasva जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो, जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो, जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो